Shalom. This is an emergency broadcast alert, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakadash, and whom we are in great debt. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who were well. Continue doing so, standing firm in the eyes of terror, who I learned this truth from. To the elders, the bishops, Akim and Aquab, salutations and blessings to the house of David. We are the hopeful elect. This is your brother Quasiyar with another somewhat quick, not too quick. Going back to that digital wall, all right, as Esau Edom is showing you his magic with his right hand. He covers his tricks with the left. He never shows you his full truth. But I've been talking about this maybe about 4 days, 5 days, that the reason for this specific war is because he needs some of those scientists that are working hard on Iran neuro and brain implant with active research in brain computer interface BCIs, deep brain stimulation, DBS, and neuro mapping. So yeah, Esau Edom might, or should I say not might, because he does. We all know he has it. He has that RFID, and people are using it. The thing about that is that it doesn't have the proper frequency, and it doesn't, or should I say he doesn't, so-called white man, Esau Edom, doesn't have control of worldwide population. And so that's when that neuro, or should I say brain mapping, comes in. And like I said, let's just hear the video, and so you can patch it together like Guy did. I mean, I patched it together because Yahweh Bash and Yahushai patched it for me, because we in reality can't do this for ourselves, man. You know, the Lord gives us the ability. He gives us this understanding through the scriptures, you know, and we see and we patch it together. But at the same time, he gives us, you know, he shows you, oh, look this way, or look, here it is, or like, you know, he gives you these signals while you studying. Nevertheless, anyway, let me not just go into, because that's spiritual power, and that's something you can't even explain. I can't explain it myself, but let's move on.
Due to the U.S.-Israel versus Iran war, be prepared for a possible food shortage. Most people think that only oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, but that's not true. This narrow waterway is also one of the most important routes for global fertilizer supply. Around 50% of the world's traded urea fertilizer moves through the Strait of Hormuz. If this war continues for a long time, the world should also prepare for a possible food shortage. Urea is the most widely used fertilizer on Earth and plays a critical role in global food production. Some of the world's biggest urea producers are located around the Persian Gulf, including Iran, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Bahrain. Large shipments of fertilizer from these countries pass through this route every day to reach global markets. If the Strait of Hormuz remains closed or heavily disrupted, the world will not only face an oil shortage but also a serious fertilizer crisis. And when fertilizer supply drops, food production across the world is affected. Countries that rely heavily on imported fertilizer could face major problems. These include Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Brazil, Turkey, and many African nations that depend.
And this is Esau Edom stealing the grapes and the trees, man. So, you know, let's move on.
Powerful missiles across the region as the U.S. attempts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Oil leaders warn of catastrophe ahead as world leaders turn to nuclear power. You may already be feeling the impact this war is having on your daily life. If you're not hearing the sound of missiles overhead, you're seeing it reflected at the gas pump. That might only be getting worse.
The attacks on energy facilities that has happened also on both sides is a dangerous precedent.
All those that called during the last days for de-escalation are ensuring escalation.
And let me add that, these Arabs, they've been in cahoots with Esau Edom many times before. This is not the first time they go at it before they, make what's the word, for lack of better words, make friends for a short time before they go at it again. They need to get together to accomplish a common goal, if you will.
The Strait of Hormuz is quickly becoming the central focus in this war, and there's a reason for this. By claiming to control this key waterway, Iran is shutting off a fifth of the world's oil and gas supplies from these 5 countries. That's already created a global energy crisis, pushing up not only the price of oil, but food, transportation, and basic commodities. Plastics, aluminium, fertilizer, all things made using oil and gas. Now, Saudi Arabia and the UAE are the only 2 countries that are prepared for this. They have pipelines that go to the Red Sea and the Gulf of Oman. Saudi can transport up to 7 million barrels to its refineries in Yanbu, but it's not enough. The CEO of Saudi Aramco, the world's biggest oil manufacturer, says there are more than 350 million barrels that have been wiped off the global energy market. And that is going to lead to a catastrophe if Iran continues to block the Strait of Hormuz. So how is Iran actually doing this? One way is naval power, but that leaves Iran's vessels open to attack. In fact, the US claims to have already destroyed Iran's entire fleet. Another way is by laying sea mines across the strait and then using its missile launchers to attack any vessel that tries to cross. This is what the US believes Iran is doing now, and it stepped up its attacks on small boats it says are carrying mines. According to the US president, 10 of these boats have already been destroyed.
So you think that Esau think tanks didn't think this through, that this would happen if they would do the things that they did, that Trump is doing? Although it's making him look like an idiot, it's still moving forward. It's still moving forward to that digital oil. Because you might not see it, but because you don't understand Yahweh Shai and how he does things. I didn't know until the Lord showed it to me.
The US has also eased sanctions restrictions on Russian energy to allow some of its allies like India to replace up to half its natural gas. Many of these sanctions have been in place since the invasion of Ukraine. Back then, Europe and Asia were forced to look for alternatives to Russian gas, and many turned to Qatar. That is, until its facilities were hit. On the 2nd of March, Qatar's state energy company shut down its gas facility completely, declaring a force majeure to its energy clients, meaning its buyers would get nothing. And that has meant that one of the biggest winners of this war so far has been Vladimir Putin.
So, do you remember when Trump flew to Russia to speak with Vladimir? What did Trump do right after that? He went and attacked Maduro. Not so long after that. What does What does Russia and the United States have in common?
Europe's response? Nuclear power. At the second nuclear energy summit in Paris on Tuesday, EU leaders pledged to invest more into nuclear energy. French President Emmanuel Macron last week signaled he was building more nuclear weapons to compete with China, and now wants his government to go all in on nuclear energy. That's all from me today. Stay with us on Al Jazeera for all you need to know.
A response from the new supreme leader of Iran with 3 specific demands at 30-day increments. Demand number 1 is a complete and total withdrawal of American forces from Iraq, Kuwait, Syria, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, and Saudi Arabia within 30 days.
Okay, we can do that.
How likely is that? Demand number 2, the U.S. must lift every sanction imposed on Iran since 1979, including all banking restrictions, oil export limitations, and all technological transfer information and products transfer bans.
Especially that. We can do that.
Within 60 days. The third demand is to pay reparations to Iran for economic warfare that cost Iran an estimated, in their estimation, $800 billion in lost revenue in the last 40 years.
Well, we have to negotiate that. And that's where the scientists that I spoke about are going to come out very soon, very fast. It's going to happen very fast. So, as I was saying, you know, they all always been in cahoots. These other nations, they always have one thing in common. Esau, Edom, you know, I mean, like Trump and Putin have something in common, but the other nations, and Esau, Edom have something in common, which Shawamba is going to talk about now. And that's what brings in that MOTB. Why? Because the MOTB, or should I say the RFID, will imprison Jacob forever if they accomplish it. This is their goal.
Yep. Based on biblical geography, the Gaza Strip is generally considered part of the territory assigned to the tribe of Judah, the real Jews, Yahawadah, not Yehuda. Stop putting Yahuwah and Yehuda on our pages. Okay? There was no U sound in the name of the Most High or his Son. Only consonants. Okay? Yahweh. That's the name. In the Hebrew, Judah is Yahwadah, because the Lord's name is in Judah, because it means Yahweh be praised, or Yahweh's praised, which Judah was the fourth son of Jacob, which that's the lineage that our Lord and Savior would come through. All right. It says, while originally allotted to the tribe of Dan, it fell within the border region of Philistia, which was assigned to Judah. All right. So what they plan on, they know and understand that this area that they're trying to conquer is important in the grand scheme of things for the blessing given unto Jacob associated with the birthright. Okay. Which he gave away his birthright. So now, as we see this man waging war all throughout Western Asia and stirring up strife and contention, and now he has his eyes set on Iran, this is a part of the greater Israel project. Okay? Okay, we'll just do a quick search. Is a Zionist ideological concept aiming to establish a Jewish state encompassing the entirety of the mandatory Palestine, often including parts of Lebanon where they have war, Syria where they have war, Jordan where they've had war, Iraq where they've had war, Egypt where they've had war, and now they're adding Iran. There is really no border. There is no limit to what they're trying to do. And Jerusalem is being trodden down of the Gentiles. It's viewed as a far-right expansionist project involving the permanent annexation of the West Bank and Gaza. See that? And this is a part of Esau, Edom, all right, wanting his birthright back, trying to establish a pseudo blessing for himself. Okay? And again, he's not wanting control of this region as a means to set up what the scripture said, the throne of David, and righteousness be forwarded out of that land. He wants this to emerge as the first controlled experiment for his technocracy. Okay? And we have all kind of information that we've been bringing out and will continue to bring out. And again, despite the war with Iran, they are moving forward, all right, with this move. Let's listen to a little bit of this. off of technocracy .news.
Despite war in Iran, Board of Peace moves on in Gaza. By Svika Klein via Jerusalem Post. The ISF force charged with overseeing security in Gaza seems like strange bedfellows. Morocco, Indonesia, Kosovo, Albania, and Kazakhstan. 4 are solidly Muslim, while Kazakhstan is on the fence with a 50% Muslim population. This means that Trump is deepening his relationship with other Islamic nations around the world. If Gaza is an Islamic project, then it will be run by asset-based Islamic Sharia finance. Is the future of technocracy Islamic? J.P. Morgan Chase is likely the bank referenced in this article, although the World Bank...
Before it gets any further, America was founded with Muslim ideology, but of course, Esau, had the spear the forefront. All right, he had to come out and put that all religions are, I forgot the name of that, but yeah, all religions are accepted here in America. Yeah, well, interruptions will happen because those spirits in the air, man. They don't want the truth. They don't want not just the truth, but the explanation of it to come out. So let's continue.
Bank says it has opened an account.
And remember, all of these nations are in. Let's get the book of Psalms 83. All right, the book of Psalms 83 and 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thine hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And although they don't agree on a lot and they're going to war behind a lot, the mass majority of them do agree on this. All right, to cut off the true biblical Israelites so that the throne of David is not established. They have consulted together with one consent, their one world order, which going into it, they're not going to agree. They're going to crash out. Esau's too, at the forefront of it. He's too much of a madman. He's too greedy. They're confederate against thee. Okay, let's look up the word confederate. They are confederate against thee, meaning a covenant. Barayath. Okay, covenant, alliance, treaty, and we're seeing all of these treaties unfold and break up in these latter days because it's not going to work. All right, ordinance, monarch to subjects. Okay, it says the tabernacles of Edom. At the forefront of them is the Edomites, the Ishmaelites, which are what? Okay, Arabs. Those are the first two nations mentioned. Moab, the Chinese, they're big in this NWO.
And before he continues, and all that BS with ramping up 6G and they can look at under your skin and whatnot, that's him getting you ready, all right? Because they can't do that right now. They can't do that right now, because otherwise he would have done it a long time ago. Esau Edom he's the devil the Bible speaks of. He would have done it, and then when you'd have found out, he would have said, oh yeah, we told you. That's the way he works. But this is why this needs to happen. Iran top neuro and brain implant with active research in brain computer interface. BCIs, deep brain stimulation. DBS and neuro mapping. Esau Edom, so-called white man, needs these scientists that are working on this because he needs to spread it worldwide. He needs to put the chip implant, not just the regular chip, but the brain implant. John the Baptist was the forerunner for us. Esau Edom has a forerunner too. Through the left side, look, Iran is at the forefront of research in neuro and brain implant with the National Brain Mapping Laboratory playing a leading role in the field. The laboratory focuses on advanced technologies and innovative treatment methods for brain disorders. This is what they tell you at the beginning, right? They want to tell you, you get into a war, you come back all twisted, we'll fix you. You get into a car crash, we'll fix you. But this is for you to do things through the computer, that you can actually surf the web without you touching a keyboard. It's not like that guy in the computer at home that he's dealing with that, computer and playing games. It doesn't stop there. These guys are way past Elon Musk, all right? Elon Musk is stuck in his computer. These guys are moving around in the web over there. And this is what Trump wants. Or should I say, Edom, so-called white man, needs. That way he can search the web all over the place. That way he can have full control of the world. So when he begins to feel his belly, the Lord is going to put a stop to his madness. And going back to this, to Elder Washawamba, he breaks it down lovely, man, how the other nations are against us, man. Because ain't none of those nations, especially Esau Edom, doesn't want the so-called Negro, so-called Latino, and the natives ruling the world over them. They know what's going to happen to them. And when I say them, I'm talking about Esau Edom. The nations know they're going to be in order. They don't want to be in order under us. They want to keep doing the dirt that they're doing right now. They want to keep babying in poop. They want to be babying in piss. They want to be eating cow dung. All these nations are doing some wicked. They're doing some wicked, man.
Well, as we're going to show you in this technocracy and the MOTB system being set up. Okay?
The head of the World Bank, Asia Banga, is on the Board of Peace and is a member of the Trilateral Commission. Key takeaways. Initial funding is not from USA or Israel. Bank account established to receive funds. Hamas is weakening because of Iran war. Israel to withdraw troops as International Stabilization Force, ISF, moves in. Patrick Wood, editor. U.S. President Donald Trump's plan for post-war Gaza continued to move forward despite the U.S.-Israel war with Iran, with the Board of Peace, BOP, already issuing tenders for projects on the ground. Two sources close to the initiative told the Jerusalem Post on Monday. According to the sources, the initiative has moved beyond diplomatic planning and into early implementation. The BOP is already operating as an official entity, they said, and has opened a bank account with an initial budget of between $60 million and $70 million.
All right, and when you deal with Trump's Board of Peace, let's go to a chat. Okay, and let's ask, what does Trump's Board of Peace have to do with Gaza? What's the connection, basically? What's the connection? Okay. Oh my goodness. I should have just asked Gronk, man.
Let's just jump a little further.
It's just like moving forward with this plan. Okay. I'll go. As a matter of fact, let me get this. This is the book of Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be showed unto the wicked. As a matter of fact, Isaiah 26:9. With my soul have I desired thee in the night, yea, with my spirit within me will I seek thee early. For when thy judgments are in the earth, under the true biblical Israelites, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. What are they learning now? The scriptures tell you an unrighteous king destroyed this people. And this land, okay, that you see them, just totally destroying, and which none of them belong there. The land doesn't belong to them or the Palestinians, but that land was set up to be a land where righteousness forwarded out of. That's the garden eastward in Eden. Okay, and they're fighting over certain parts of it, but that land belongs to the true biblical Israelites, and this is why there has to be a great destruction there before it's rebuilt. Okay, the world is going to learn righteousness. Okay, as a matter of fact, Revelation 22 and 1, and he showed me a pure river of water, clear.
So like before he gets into that, because he's going into something else, and I just want to make the point of the MOTB. And so when he actually starts making these deals and he finally gets his way, you're going to be faced with a lot of testing, man. You're going to be tested. You're going to be tested heavily. All right? Because as he's going to betray, he betrays his mother if he can. Let me just read this. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Right? So this is why, Trump tells you one thing, and next thing you know, he's doing something else. That's exactly what's going on right now, man. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou should be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou should know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. And that's the point right there. Because what do you think he's going to do when he finally gets those doctors working on his MOTB, and on the RFID? When he gets his little tool, when he gets his little toy, Revelations 13 and 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the digital oil in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, because they're having problems right now, right? Prices are going up. Okay, he's gonna make it easy for you. Say he had that had the digital oil, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here's wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. And everything you do, and everywhere you go, everything you do, man, there's a barcode. There's a barcode on everything that represents who's the owner of it. And if you don't see a barcode, there's a patent that represents the name. All right? So whatever it is, there's a barcode. All right? So it says right here, so it says the name of the beast, the system, right? The name, or the number, which this is a barcode, and the name is, you can count that as well, I just mentioned it. A pattern, right? But if to eliminate all that, if you had this digital oil, he can eliminate all that and put it all in one place. Okay, so let's just go back. Now we could go back to Elder Washawamba was saying about Yahweh Shai.
Water, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb, and that's the throne of David. Okay, so it's going to be water, the words, the doctrine, the law, statutes, and commandments are going to what? Proceed from the throne of the Most High and from the Lamb, and it's going to lead to what? The healing of the nations. Okay, although they're going to be judged, everything is going to be, the earth is going to be beautified. Okay, everything's going to be beautified, but let favor be shown unto the wicked. Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be shown unto the wicked, which he's living out the end of his blessing. Favor has been shown unto him, yet he will not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. And he's not beholding the majesty of the Lord, neither does he plan on doing it. Okay, he's boasting of his heart's desire. Okay, Psalms 50:16. But unto the wicked the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Where the hell is Bibi Netanyahu? Seeing thou hatest instruction, and castest my words behind thee. When thou sawest a thief, thou consentest with them. And that's what they're doing over here, stealing, raping, robbing, murdering, and has been a partaker with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Okay, the wicked boast of his heart's desire. And 3, for the wicked boasted of his heart's desire. Verse 4, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in any of his thoughts.
And just to clarify that again, injecting you or opening your head and putting these things, that's not part of Yahweh Shai's thoughts, man. Doing these things, this was never the Lord's plan for his people or anybody. Anyways, there is more on the elders video, but I don't want to make my video that long. I just wanted to clarify this point that I made before, that these people are the ones who are going to help Esau Edom, so-called white man, connect the digital oil worldwide, right? And hell's going to break loose because Esau Edom, like always, he's going to go like, it's mine. Like a little, you see them little white kids? Give me a second, I have to play that, man. Wait. I'm not going to play the whole video. I'm just going to play the part where he's throwing a tantrum over his cancellation of video subscription of the game, all right? But the fact that this is his nature. This is his nature when he can't get, what he wants. This is how he does. Now, mind you, he does certain things in the video. It might look funny, but this is his nature. This is who he is. Why he got naked? Like, what he did that for? That's enough, man. That's enough. Shalom.